I've just always been a maker. And that's, I call myself a maker because when I grew up, everything that you needed and wanted, you just couldn't go buy in a store. If you wanted to have a beautiful tablecloth or a pillowcase, then your mom gave you a embroidery wheel and some thread, and you sat down and you embroidered it. So I'm very used to making things that I need. One of my first realizations that art was something that I would do is, my mom was always a worker, so she went to work in the morning and she'd get off at 4:30 or 5 and she'd come home, and one day I made a drawing for her and I gave her this drawing and she seemed quite delighted. I said, well, it makes her happy. I'll draw her something a couple times a week and see if she's still happy every time I give it to her. And so for me, I don't separate the making from the art. It's the art of making. Actually, I haven't been doing the paper cutting that long. I had a show and I wanted to make these large compositions, and I thought, I want to make something big and I want it to be on the wall and I want to be able to see it. I tend to take what is often right in my environment. And if I'm drawing or cutting or making something and you're there, then you're fair game. In the piece that the Wichita Art Museum has purchased, My Girl with Flowers, she was one of my studio assistants. She still works with me. I've watched her kind of grow up, and so she's in a number of my images. I come to know my subjects, so my hand knows how to draw them or how to cut them, but then it's the environment that I put them in that is my new challenge and the new thing I get to do. I tend to have 2 or 3 pieces in some varied form of engagement. They talk back and forth. That's why I try to get that energy of the work going, and it creates a kind of, a swirling. It's a kind of a magic. And when that gets into the air, then you just sort of let it descend on you and take you where you want to go. If you allow the viewer to come with their own sense of inquiry, they come up with a story. And the story usually is something that connects their lives to the images that they're looking at, and that they feel that the subject matter is approachable. So I always think of art kind of as a gift. So I've just continued to make because it seems essential to my being. But you know what? You gotta show up, you gotta be present, you gotta be serious, and you gotta have fun.